Hey there, Song everybody. Welcome back for another amazing video. Today, I was gonna do a video on ways that you can make money in multiple different industries such as real estate, equity, crypto, commodities, online income, academics, and maybe some other things. But I realized, you know what, it's crypto run. Let's forget the other ways of making income. Let's focus on crypto. So without any further ado, let's talk about how you can make money and mashallah money through crypto. All right, so you guys can see here, I have here topic, investment, time, risk, potential return, rating out of 10, extra note. So which means like I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of thought process for what is being said here. So first of all, we have spot trading. Spot trading is pretty much you buy a crypto, you sell the crypto. I've already given my 2024 list. You can watch that video up here. You can watch my 2023 list too. It'll be somewhere in my YouTube. And that what I've done is I've already screened those projects for halal or gray area, and you can decide for yourself the ones that are gray if they're halal or not. Obviously, the ones that are halal are not my fatawa, they're or my fatwa. They are coming from a ulama's perspective or a scholar's perspective. Obviously, I'm not gonna give my own verdicts on these things. So we'll go with the first thing: spot trading. Spot trading is pretty much buying and selling of the tokens, whichever ones you think is halal. Investment, you need somewhere around from 0 to 5K. The reason why I said 0 to 5K is because if you're doing spot trading, you can do it with a little bit of money. You can do it with a lot more than that. But if you really want to get started, you want to be looking around this range because you're not gonna make like even if you're making 100% on $100, that's $200. $200 is a lot of money, but alhamdulillah, but it's not as much as what could be survivability amount. So if you put in like somewhere around $3,000 and you make 100%, that's $6,000. Why not, right? The time that this will take to properly use spot trading is 3 to 10 hours a day. And remember, this is I'm talking about day trading and very low time frame based trading. The risk is low to medium. The reason why I said low to medium is because you can put the money in BTC and Ethereum, making it low. Medium as you can put into some altcoins such as Solana, Avalanche, and blah blah blah. Now, even though this is technically all crypto is known as very high risk, I'm saying from the element of crypto, if you just focus on crypto and no other economic systems, then it's low to medium. Through this, you can make a potential return of 3x, and this is during that entire cycle, right? I'm not saying this is over one night, 2 days, or something. I'm saying this is over like let's say about 1 year, 2 years cycle. And if you do it properly, you can make 3x of your return. Now, rating out of 10, I haven't given it because I was like, I'm gonna give the rating out of 10 while in this video. Personally, I would say this is a good 6.5 out of 10 for the effort you put in and for the return you get. So pretty much not bad. But if you put in a lot more money, let's say you put in $100,000 and you do this, then I would give this a 7.5 because you can make enough income to have a sustainable income and a lifestyle and stuff like that. The next thing is spot investing. Spot investing and spot trading is different. Spot trading is buying and selling on the spot price on a short time frame. Spot investing is a long term thing, for which is like a 0 to 10K. And because you're doing long term, I might even say 0 to 15K, depending on what your disposable income is. And this is about 1 hour a week, and this 1 hour a week for just seeing what the market's going, some research, some making some emergency decisions. But if you have your stop loss and take profits in place for emergency closing of any positions, then this 1 hour a week is enough. Your risk is in relatively low because you're doing long-term investing. You're not thinking about if the market is going to go down a little bit, what's going to happen. For example, BTC recently went down a little bit, and a lot of people started panicking. Those guys are usually doing spot trading and they're doing swing trading. But if you're doing spot investing, like some of my friends, they really didn't care. They said, it's okay. We'll wait for it to go up in May, June, July. So they're not really worried. Potential return is on this is 1x, and the reason why I'm saying 1x is because it is a long-term play, and sometimes in the long-term play you cannot take advantage of the volatility of the movements of the market. Now, this could still be 3x, 2x, 2 if you make the right decisions, but I have to be a little bit conservative. Obviously, this could be 6x if you make the right decisions, but I have to keep like a moderate perspective on what you can make. This, because the time is not a lot, and I've done this for some of the industries, I personally say 7.5 because your time effort is not much, because you're just putting something in, you have a strong belief in the product, and you're going to wait it out. The next thing I'm going to talk about is futures, and the reason why it's red is because futures is non-permissible, and I've talked about this in this channel. If you guys want me to make another video on futures and derivatives, I for sure can talk about it with the right fatwas and with the right ulama on board. And obviously, I'm going to quote them. I'm not going to say my own name. I'm going to say, Mufti blah blah blah, Mufti blah blah blah. From this, reasons have said it's not permissible. I've already done it. If you go on my channel, or it'll be link up here somewhere. But if you can go into my channel, just search it up, futures or derivatives, it'll come up. So anyway, for futures, you don't need a lot of money, to be honest, because you can leverage like crazy. So futures has two elements. You can do leverage, and even if you don't do leverage, the element of futures themselves is because you're pretty much not bargaining on the element of the product. You're bargaining. You're putting money on the element of the or the position of what people will perceive this movement to be. A little bit, you can read into what derivatives and futures are. And you 2 to 5K, 5 to 10 hours a day. The risk is very high, but you can make a lot of money. We're talking 1,000%. We're talking 1,500%. We can talk about 1,600%. Long positions, short positions, and blah blah blah. Now, because it is not halal, it's not mashallah money. 0. That's my rating on this thing. Because there's no point. We're not gonna get into this. We're not gonna do it. But I had to put it here just for ilm. Remember, you can know what something is haram and halal and what the the functions of it is for ilm. Okay, next thing is proof of work or consensus mechanisms, which is pretty much staking, mining, proof of location, proof of service, proof of internet, proof of whatever, like consensus mechanisms. So pretty much we'll talk about proof of work or proof of staking. Proof of work is mining, like Bitcoin mining, or proof of work is staking. You have to invest somewhere around 2K to 30K. This is all depending on how big you want your mining to be or how big you want your system to be, because you have to buy the nodes and then you have to connect hardware and software to the nodes, and you have to let it mine and all this stuff. So it can range somewhere from 2K to 30K. There's about 10 hours a month, and this is to make sure that things are running. You're checking on how much money is coming in, if everything is good. For example, I had the HNT miner set up in one of my friend's house, and it went down, and obviously I didn't know it went down for about like 2 days because I wasn't checking. And then boom, when I found out, I told him, hey, this is what's going on. He said, okay. Then obviously on the phone, I told him what he can do with it. Potential return, usually you're looking at, this is on a 1 or 2 years basis. We're not talking about like 10 years. We're talking 1 or 2 years basis. You're looking at 1x, 2x, depending on what you're mining, what the APRs are, what the APYs is, what the hashes, all these things. You can make 1 to 2x. It's very passive, and personally, I would say, because it's so passive, I would rate this about an 8. And because I do like passive income, it's a very interesting concept. Okay, next thing, let's move this thing down. YM, which is yield mining or yield farming, or all those elements of yield, or elements. Now, proof of work or proof of mining or any consensus mechanism is not the same as yield mining. Right? Yield mining has an element of making rewards on money put in. Proof of work and proof of mining is making rewards on the element of validation. I've already talked about what is staking, what is proof of consensus mechanisms. I had a PhD brother, or a brother who's doing his PhD on consensus mechanisms, come and explain what they are. You can watch these videos on my YouTube, and you can learn more about them. This one, it's gonna take about 1 to 5K, it's depending on how much money you're putting into the how much money you are staking into the yield systems. Same thing, 10 hours a month, not much. It's very passive, low risk. Now, the reason why I wrote low, I could even write a label like low to medium, because there is an element of impermanent loss and a few other ways that you can actually come out of it not so financially progressed. You can come out maybe like making only like 10%, 15% that year. So it's a little bit, it's low, I would still say, in comparison to the other things in crypto. Same thing, 1x, 2x, and I will give this an A2. The reason why I'm still giving ratings to this, even though I've made it orange, and orange means it's a gray area. Why have I said gray area? Because if you've seen my videos on staking, initially I was of the stance of like staking technically isn't an issue as long as blah 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 is met. But then after alhamdulillah, sitting with ulama and discussing staking in detail and the different types of proof of consensus mechanisms, it is true that there is an element where staking or some of the other ones can have direct connections to making haram income, and I've talked about this. You can watch in my YouTube channel. Yield mining or yield systems, also same thing. There are some that are halal, there are some that are haram, and I think I made a video on it. I don't remember not making one. I do remember making one. Though, khair, if there isn't one and you guys don't see it on my channel, let me know. Inshallah, I'll make a video on this, going into details on what makes it halal and what makes it haram. So, yes, we can look into that too. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. And as you guys are, hit that subscribe button. Let's make that mashallah money together. The next thing, and this is where the exciting things start coming. This is where the real money is. Whitelist for launch. This is from $500 to 3K. This is things like, project is launching, you whitelist yourself for like, $1,000, $2,000. They have a minimum requirement. Usually it is $500 to all the way to 3K. If you go above 3K, then they start looking into community ventures, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. So pretty much this is about 1 hour, and this is 1 hour in the sense that that's how long it takes to put your money into a whitelist. But it could take around 5 hours to do research on that project before you put your money into it. It is very high risk because it is a launch. You don't know what's going to happen to a certain extent. It is not gambling. It's not. It does have a certain element of speculation, but it's not that to that level that I would say is gharar. You can do proper research and you can make a very strong decision on this, and you can make about 3x to 7x on these, and many people do. This is where a lot of people love that whole element of, as soon as the project launches, I get my tokens, and then boom, I can sell my tokens right there and then in about one day into the project launching, and usually it's already done 3x 7x, and I can sell it and I can make money. So yeah, it's not too bad. Personally, because it's high risk, high return, and I like high risk, high return, I will give this a 7.5. And the reason why I didn't give it like 8 or above is because obviously you can see here, these things are passive, and I like passive income too. This is all you can define whatever is the best for yourself, right? You don't have to follow what I'm saying. You can just go, with what your opinion is personally. Okay. So next thing is ICOs and launch sniping. So which is pretty much, you don't even do whitelist. Tokens go live. You know exactly which exchange, which dexes they go live on. You make an account there. As soon as they go live, you have a bot set up, or you just yourself are fast enough. You put in 100K. You put in $1,000, $2,000. It's very quick. Usually bots are really good at doing this. It's very high risk because, again, same thing like whitelist. The return is necessary. Is a very high risk, high return type of situation. I personally would say, look, if you find the right projects and you can set up a whitelist for launch, or you can do ICO launch sniping, yeah, I mean 7.5. That's what I would give it to. The next thing is, and I think this is where it really starts getting juicy. This is it. Community investment pools, and I will inshallah introduce you guys to some of these in another video, where I think I think it's very important to talk about what these things are, and what's the benefit of it. Look, if you're in crypto and you love the high risk element, and you can understand what it means to do fundamentals and technicals, or just do fundamentals, because at launches there's not much technicals, to be honest with you. You can do technicals with the tokenomics, but you can't do technicals because there's not really charting, because it just hasn't even launched yet. Anyway, community investment pools. So what these are is, there's some VCs have a community pool set up where people can come in and pitch that, look, I can put in $10,000 into the next 3 projects, or the community pools themselves, the VCs will push out a project saying, hey, this project is going on these exchanges, this is what it's about, this is the white paper, this is the blurb, this is the blah blah blah. There's a lot of details they give. This is their tokenomics. Our pool has an allocation of like X thousand dollars. Who wants in? And then let's say if within that community there's 150 people, everybody will go in like, oh, 3K, 4K, 5K, 10K, whatever it is. And then as first come, first serve basis, the allocation is fulfilled. They close up that round, and they're like an investment pool for that project. Now for this, you get access to private round and seed round. Now I'll have to explain this to you if you don't know what these things are. In whitelist for launch and ICO launch, you usually get public round. Public round is direct vesting, which means you get the tokens right off the bat, but your price is higher. For example, it could be something as simple as this. We'll do this pre-seed, we'll do seed, we'll do private. There's another round called KOL round, and then there's a public round. Okay, so I'm doing this so you guys can learn what's going on out in the market. There's so many things that are happening, right? A pre-seed is 1 cent, like let's $1. Okay, let's make life easier. Seed might be 1.5. Private might be 1.75, and then KOL is 2, and public is like 3. Okay, dollars, and usually cents, but I'm just saying it for making my, let's take these as cents, okay? Don't even take these as dollars. Then what this for pre-seed is, vesting is like 10 months. You get your token. Vesting means how long is it going to take you to get your tokens. So think about it as a linear or curved. But we'll make life very similar. It's linear. Means that every month, they whatever amount of tokens they're supposed to get as a whole. Let's say if they bought like 1 million tokens, they'll get 100,000 on each month, right? Seed is something usually similar, or something like 9 months. Private round is 7 months, and then KO round is like 3 months, and then public is public, right? There's like this NA, right? So you get it right off the bat. I'm putting this in here so you guys can see like how this works. Or maybe I shouldn't delete that because the next thing we'll also talk about it. So this is medium to high. The reason why I say medium to high is because medium element is somebody in that VC, because this is a VC pool. There's a team that's already doing analysis of if that project is good or not. And then that element is where the medium aspect comes, but it's still very high risk. And then you have a potential of making either 5 to 10x per each project, or you make 1 to 2x. Sometimes you also make a loss, but if you hold the tokens long enough, and if the project does end up going up, then you made profit. Sometimes what happens is as soon as the project launches, it goes up like 10x, 15x. People get greedy. It's true, people get greedy, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, go up to 20x. And then it crashes. So the whole, and then the project stays down for like an entire bear market, which is 2 years. And then the bull market starts going up again. And that's when people are like, oh, there's so much FUD for that 2-3 years. And anywho, you can make this much return. And this usually has a fee. The fee can range anywhere from 10% to 20%, depending on what this VC, community VC is, okay? So some of them are very cheap, some of them are more expensive. You have to find the right ones. All right, cool. Now it's getting even more juicier, isn't it? The next is VC. Now, VC is where the big money and the big boys are. VC is anywhere from 50K to 300K. This is allocation. As I told you, this goes into the private round. Your community investment pools can go into the private round, or sometimes in the KO round. VCs can also go into the seed round or pre-seed round. So VCs get a lot more openness because projects haven't gone public yet. They just maybe have a Telegram and some social media and an MVP, and then they go to VCs, and the VCs are like, okay, we'll give you 50K or give you 100K. And it says 5 hours because if you are a VC, my friend, I don't know why you're watching this video. You know what you're doing. But if you become a VC or you want to become a VC, you can DM me. I can guide you, or you can send me an email, and there's a lot of things that we can discuss. But VCs, they invest this much. They take about 5 hours because they have to jump on calls. They sometimes also get advisor allocation, which I can talk about tokenomics as a whole too, but we'll forget that. And then they bring more VCs with them. So usually what the case with investors is that if one guy invests and they find that that guy is an important person within the industry, everybody else invests. It's simple as that. And if that guy invests, or those guys invest, those VCs invest, then everybody else invests. Your private, your KOLs, your public. KOL stands for key opinion leaders. These are your influencers you like on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. Okay, so, and again, yeah, as a VC, it's medium high, same thing as before, because you're doing your analysis. You have the option. You have the chance of making 10 to 20x or 3 to 6x, and this is because VCs get the special pricing, they get special vesting, they get all these things, but obviously they don't have that power of dumping all their tokens right on the go. Rather, some projects have really rigid rules for VC. So as a VC, also a lot of big VCs don't like rigid rules. Now let's rate these guys, okay? Because I'm a high risk, high return lover, I'm gonna put this at 8.5, and I'm gonna put this at 9. The real money is in here. But now let's talk about the real big boys, okay? The real big boys is this. Launch your own project, okay? Launch your own project. And the reason why I say this is because this is where the real smart, real developers, this is where the real game is. Because you're not just putting money in. No, you're seeing this whole baby go from a little baby to a grown adult. A small project to a project that has 20,000 community members who are trying to just buy the token and also use the product. Like, we have phenomenal products that have been built over the last 7 years, 8 years. And that is through the guys that did launch your own project. Now, launch your own is not going to cost you 300K, 500K. It's going to cost you an initial cost of somewhere around 30 to 50K. That's to set up the initial community, community, get the MVP going, get the blurbs, get the team, everything set up, the legal setup. So then when you go to the VCs, they put in the 300K and you raise about, let's say, 1.2, $1.5 million to launch the entire project over the next 2 years, or 4 million, 5 million. Some projects have raised upwards of $200 million, depending on what the project is. People can do it. Now that is there. This is about 14 hours a day. The reason why I say 14 hours a day is because if you're launching your own project, this is your bread and butter, and you are on it the whole day, the whole night. Other than this, you're only praying, eating, washroom, and sleeping. That's it. And even sleep is like 6 hours. Do not ever cut down your prayers. Obviously, do your ibadah. Ibadah is the most important. None of this thing matters if there's no ibadah. Without ibadah, there's nothing. So that is that. And then it's medium. The reason why I said it's medium is because for what you're doing and what you're gonna get, it's medium. Because majority of the risk for this has been taken up by these guys. You see this? These guys are taking up the high medium risk or medium high risk. You're taking up the medium element of risk because your 50K for what the potential return is up there. So you can probably take a 10x, 20x, or even a complete loss. And that happens if VCs don't want to back you. And we've had a lot of projects that have went through this where they're great projects, but VCs don't want to back you up. No one wants to back you up. Something has happened and you take a loss. Personally, this is something that I'm involved with in the sense that I have helped projects and I've advised them and go to market strategy and all that stuff. So, and I love the element of the journey to making the money. So subhanallah, 10. But you know what? Let's make this 9.5 because 10 means that it's perfection. So that pretty much wraps up this video. So I hope you guys like this video. This video, I went into details about each way that you can make money make that mashallah money through crypto. There's a few more other methods, but I thought, let's keep this as is and keep it raw and don't go into these very nitty-gritty details of what other pillars are there. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know what you're involved with. If you guys want to reach out to me, you have my email. I'll put my email here, or you have my email through the about section in this channel, or you can see that email in the description below. Reach out to me if you have questions about whatever I talked about, or you can reach out to me on Instagram and let me know what's going on. What are you guys involved with? Because crypto right now is making a real boom. Take care of yourself. Like, share, subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.